As a photographer, I constantly meet women that wish they were more beautiful. They'll say to me, change this, Raquez, fix this, smooth that. Or I'll catch them saying, oh, they're not beautiful, or they wish they could do this to their bodies or that, looking at this, comparing themselves. All of this pain. This made me realize that women face so much pressure just to feel like they're enough. So I decided to create the SHAPE campaign. SHAPE represents simply human advocating positivity everywhere. SHAPE, get it? So I launched a nationwide search and received submissions from all over the country, but only 7 proved to have what it takes. I want to take the diamond in the rough and make her shine brighter than ever. I'm looking for determination, creativity, confidence, and heart. Every size, every color, and every shape. And you better believe I don't shoot for the stars. I create them. SHAPE.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the SHAPE Campaign Podcast. I'm your host, Raquez Rouse. And today I have the radiant Chaina Smith. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of the SHAPE Campaign Season 3. I feel like I really need to tell each and every one of you ladies, because you all make this campaign what it is. So I cannot do this without you. As I said in the very beginning during casting, what has this experience been like for you?
I think it's been an amazing experience. The first time I heard about it, I was drawn to it because I thought it had a wonderful cause. I'm all about positivity and loving yourself and doing whatever you can to be a light for others.
Well said. Well said. Definitely agree 100%. So we're going to kick off today's episode with the icebreaker. It's a game that I call Shape Shifter. Okay. How it works is I'm going to ask you a series of questions. After the first question, you will have 15 seconds to answer. All right.
Oh, wow.
So do the best you can. May the odds forever be in your favor. All right. First question. What's the best one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Keep your money.
Keep your money. Okay. Any particular instance of where you lost your money that you would have done things differently if you could?
No particular instance. It's just when you're young and you're making money and you don't have any responsibilities, you spend differently.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Especially when it's not your money either.
Right.
All right. Next question. If you were offered one free cosmetic procedure, what would you choose?
I think I would probably have a tummy tuck.
Okay. Is that something that you've always wanted, or was it just something maybe after having a child?
Just after having a child. Nothing that I have to have or always wanted, but if something was available, I'd take it.
All right. Gotcha. Okay, next question. Which television character has inspired you the most?
Ooh, television character. That's a hard one. I'll say Nemo. Finding Nemo.
Nemo. Why?
He never gave up.
Never gave up.
Never gave up.
Best answer. Best answer. All right. Next question. What is one song that has helped you overcome a heartbreak?
Ooh, heartbreak. That is a hard one. I think Mary J. Blige in My Life.
My Life. Okay. I was listening to some Mary last week, and I was listening to I Love to Share My World song, the Breakthrough album. That's like a classic as well. So absolutely wonderful. What is one song that makes you feel like that girl?
Ooh, wait. That is a hard one. And I'm a music buff. I love so many things.
Time's a ticking.
I know. Hmm.
All right, time's up. We'll come back to that one, Daniel. Next, if you think of the answer, feel free to interject at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Next question: if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
I would think teleportation.
That's a different one. Okay.
Yeah. I like to get right to whatever it is I'm trying to do. So if I can transport there and then get back to wherever, that would be awesome.
That's very interesting that you say that. And I know you have a background in transportation. So it all makes sense. It's all coming full circle. Now, this final question is a trick question, but not really a trick question if you know the answer. So I'm only going to give you 10 seconds to answer this. What does the acronym SHAPE stand for?
Yeah, just take those 10 seconds. I know, but I can't.
Give me at least a letter. Do you know a letter? Somebody got the E yesterday. Tiffany Long's got the E. So maybe you can add on to that.
I don't know. Positivity.
Okay, there you go. All right. So we got the P and the E. All right, cool. All right. So, Miss Smith, thank you again for being here today. Now, I have to give you your props and just commend you so much. You are coming all the way from Atlanta. You just flew in this morning, right?
That's correct.
How early did you get up?
About 4.
4 a.m. So that is some dedication. And why the SHAPE campaign to come here? Because you're in Atlanta. So you have all of the high photographers and, the Derek Blanks and all these people there. So why the SHAPE campaign?
It was recommended to me by a dear friend. And once I started to research and look into it, I also looked into you. I looked into past seasons and some of the models, and I liked what I saw. And I was like, yeah, this is something I definitely wouldn't mind being a part of.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad. We're definitely glad to have you. Absolutely. Now, you are from Selma, Alabama?
That's correct.
Okay. What was life like in little Selma? Is it a small town? Because I've never really heard much about it.
Selma is small. It's very small, actually. I believe the population is around 20,000 or so. Okay. Selma, I think growing up in Selma was unique. There's a lot of history in Selma. Bloody Sunday took place in Selma.
Okay.
So yeah, there's just a lot of things that I think I was exposed to in Selma that I wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise, as far as art, culture, people, backgrounds, and race relations, and just kind of everything under the sun. And I appreciate what I've been afforded just by being from Selma.
Absolutely. And and that you say that with Bloody Sunday, that's like that area, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, is like the pinnacle of like the civil rights movement was kind of born in that region. So that's some history for real.
It is.
As far as growing up, when did you move away?
I did not move away until I graduated from high school. When I left there, I was headed to Auburn University.
And where is that located?
Auburn, Alabama. That's about an hour and a half from Selma. Okay,
got you. Now, did you firsthand have any? You mentioned race relations. Any experiences with racial injustice or anything that you can think of offhand?
Actually, I did not have any personal experience with racial injustice while being in Selma. I think my very first experience was after leaving. Okay. And then I found that to be amazing because the potential was always there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But, I've just never experienced it there.
And I wonder, is Selma one of those what they call like a sundown town?
I wouldn't wouldn't say that it's necessarily a sundown town. Not to say that it never was. I don't know.
Right.
But at this point, I don't think it's really a sundown town. But there's definitely some division. And I think maybe because of that division, it keeps things quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
Mhm.
And when you did experience that racial injustice, was it in the South or was it somewhere totally where you wouldn't even expect it?
It was still in Alabama.
Still in Alabama.
Mhm.
Okay, got you. I understand that you went to a PWI, a predominantly white institution,
Yes.
and that was in the Auburn, Alabama?
Auburn,
Auburn.
Alabama. Mhm.
How was that experience? Was that culture shock for you at all?
My experience at Auburn was good. I was debating between HBCU or PWI,
Mhm.
and I chose the PWI route, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting based off of the things I factored into my decision process. But it was still a good experience.
So when you say it was, and just for those that don't know, HBCU represents historically Black college university. What was what were the things that you didn't expect that you didn't bank for, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term?
I really felt that since it was a PWI, the African American community, the student community would be more close knit, stronger versus what it would have been at an HBCU. And that's not at all how it was.
So you thought that it would be closer,
Yes,
but it was more divided, or just dispersed.
Well, it wasn't necessarily divided, but it was just cliques of people, like it is anywhere else. It's just cliques of people.
Okay,
and not that there was any discourse or animosity or anything. It was just you have your people.
Did that, by choosing to go to a PWI such as Auburn, was that a conscious effort that you made to want to go the opposite way, or was it just that you were really compelled to that school for the program and you just felt like that was really the best fit for you?
Honestly, at that time, I had not really been exposed to HBCUs from the educational perspective. Both my parents did attend HBCUs, but I still had not been exposed to them beyond reunions and tailgating and things of that nature, just the fun part of it. But nobody really showed me, okay, these are the types of companies that seek out our students, or these are the types of opportunities that are afforded to our students. And after making my decision, I realized, because I still had friends at these HBCUs, and I now had a front row seat to what was going on. And I'm looking at the job fair at Auburn versus the job fair at, let's say, Tuskegee or, Stillman or wherever. And I'm like, okay, these are some really solid opportunities that are being offered. So I would say, had I known that beforehand, I may have taken a different route. But I don't regret going to Auburn.
So it sounds like you're saying that there were more solid opportunities at the PWI than there were at the HBCU?
I'm not going to say that there were more, but I feel like there were the same opportunities.
Okay.
But you had better support.
Okay.
Better backing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yes.
That may, I can unfortunately see how that would be the case. Absolutely. Yeah. So living in Atlanta, how long have you been in Atlanta?
I have been in Atlanta for 10 years.
For 10 years. Okay. And you have a background in rail operations.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, when I went to Auburn, my major changed so many times. Started out wanting to do architecture, and I figured out, this isn't the path for me. And I went over to engineering, computer engineering, then industrial engineering. And then I was like, somewhere around that third calculus-based physics, I was like, yeah, I don't think so. So I changed over to operations management. It was still something that was close to industrial engineering and would allow me to deal with the types of things that I wanted to deal with. And when it was time to graduate, I had a really good friend who had a father that worked for the railroad. And he talked to me and talked about his career path and what his day is like. And I was like, you know what? I think that's what I want to do. And it wasn't my only choice, but it was a very strong choice and it worked out for me. And I've had a really great career. It's been 21 years.
21 years.
21 years.
Are you retiring anytime soon, or are you going to keep going?
I don't have plans to retire soon. I would like to, get all my time in and, pad that retirement as much as I can.
Absolutely. Especially in this day's economy, right?
Yeah, one of the last pensions that there are.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely can see that. Now, with that, what are the ins and outs? Just a brief rundown of what you do as a rail operations manager is what I have here, but I don't know much about that. What does that entail?
I have a lot of experience in 21 years. And when I started, I was actually a field officer.
Okay.
And as a field officer, I was in charge of the conductors and engineers that operate the trains. So if there was any injuries, accidents, crossing accidents, making sure they're in compliance with government regulations, all those great things. I did that for about half of my career, and then I decided I wanted to get a little bit closer to home because my last field opportunity was in Michigan. So I was like, okay, well, let me try to get closer to home, and Atlanta was perfect. So I moved into the office in Atlanta, and instead of dealing so much with employees and people and kind of being on the front line of what's going on in the field, I was more so moving into logistics. So I was doing what was behind the scenes, and that's kind of the same thing I'm doing now, making decisions on how the traffic will run, when it will run, prioritizing, and just making things move from behind the scenes.
Nice. And I'm just curious, just trivial or trivia, how often are there railroad accidents and injuries?
Well, I believe the last statistics may have been, and not just inside, but as far as anything dealing with the crossing, I think it's in between 5 to 15 seconds worldwide. So
every 5 to 15 seconds, there's an accident of some sort, injury. Wow.
It may not be an injury, but, because there's several groups that try to raise awareness for crossings. People aren't really aware of the dangers that are at a crossing, whether you're walking, playing, driving, going around the gates, or choosing not to stop, whatever it may be. So.
Now, I will say, I live in the city, so there is a railroad near my home, but I think I underestimate railroads because, one, they don't come very often where I live, and two, they don't look like they're moving that fast when you're not actually up close to it. But that's far from the truth, right? They're moving faster than they look.
Well, it depends on where you are.
Okay.
Because just like we have speed limits when we're driving, there's speed limits for trains
as well. Okay. Because I always wondered too, like, well, why are there railroads in the middle of cities? Like, why can't they divert them around the town so it's can reduce the hazard of accidents and things?
Well, believe it or not, there are industries that need the service that are within the city.
Okay.
So
good point. See, I didn't know that. I'm sure some of the listeners may have not known that either. That's another reason why this campaign is so important. And I really appreciate it is because we have so much diversity, not just physically, but also just with occupations. Like you're in transportation, railroad, and then we have someone that's an educator and someone that's into the beauty industry and all these other different facets. And I think bringing all of these different collective women together to show like a different side, not just, oh, we're just into makeup and hair. And that's great if you are, but also you're into transportation or even architecture that you were thinking about doing. Like all of these different things really shows the array of talent and intelligence and diversity, and I'm really impressed. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I know that it's funny because with the process of doing the Shape campaign for season 3, I remember you saying, and I have here in my notes that you are a good leader, or you say that a good leader can also be a good follower and go with what is being asked of them. And just hearing your background, clearly you're a leader and you have the ability to call shots and make decisions. So with relinquishing some of that autonomy to make all decisions, how hard or easy was that for you in this experience?
It's not hard at all. I'm the type of person who has no problem taking a back seat. I can let somebody else fly that plane as long as they're qualified. Now, if you show me any sign that you don't know what you're doing or this plane might crash, my takeover spirit is going to come out.
There you go.
But yeah, I can sit in the back seat all day.
Nice.
I'm fine.
And I remember too, because just for some of those that are listening and viewers as well, with the Shape campaign, the process with this is me being the creative director and the photographer and the creator of this campaign. I have a vision for each season. And so it really requires a lot of trust from women that don't know what this is about or the process. So you're really coming into this blindsided pretty much, and you have to be guided through every step. And I remember with you in particular, Chaina, with the your look that you're wearing for the promo, you had some apprehension about it. Talk about that.
It was a little difficult because I'm that person that functions better when I have the who, what, where, why, when, and I didn't have it. And I knew you had a vision. I respected your vision. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know how I want to fit into this vision. I don't know what I should be doing. I don't know if I'm making the right decision. But, you on the other hand, as a leader, had curated everything so that everything that was available fit into your vision. So really, I was making a mountain out of a molehill.
Hey, it's your guy Quest here. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Shape Campaign podcast. And as a quick reminder, please be sure to check out all of our exclusive interviews from the rest of our Shape cast, as well as the promotional rollout at raquezrouse.com. And for more exclusive behind the scenes stuff that you may have not gotten to see, at my Instagram handle at mr.raquezrouse. That's Mr. Raquez Rouse. Now back to the show.
At what point, and I appreciate you being very honest about that. At what point did you, or was there a point where you felt like you wanted to abort mission and walk away because you didn't trust the vision?
Oh, no.
So you were always like locked in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I commit to something, I'm there.
You're there. Okay.
Mhm.
And I purposely do that where I don't tell you ladies everything because I
Mhm.
know you're going to start to formulate how the ends meet.
Mhm.
And I don't want that. I want there to always be that mystique about what's next
Mhm.
because for me, it allows me to move much more freer because I don't feel the pressure of, okay, I have to do everything by the book because this is what I told them. Now, there are certain things I have to let you all know expectations of what to expect, but I don't want to put everything out there. That I think that's just more my personality too. I don't just tell everybody everything about me because I feel like there's a certain things I want to keep close to my chest.
Mhm.
So in case I decide to do something different, I don't have to explain it. I can just make the move. And to me, it's a much more seamless transition versus trying to justify or why didn't you do this and you say you were going to do that. It's just easier that way. When you saw your images on the day of the shoot, what went through your head?
It was kind of like a culmination. Like, okay, I see it.
And it was like little, and you still didn't see everything because you haven't even seen the final product
Mhm.
yet. You're just
Mhm.
going based off of what we did that day of the shoot. So, and
Mhm.
it looks much different than what we did.
Mhm.
But again, my mind, I know why I did that. We had to get to step 1 to 2 to 3 to get to
Mhm.
step 10. So,
You know what, Raquez?
Mhm.
I am very analytical.
Mhm.
So everything you just said about why you do what you do and the
Mhm.
way that you did it,
Mhm.
I had already figured that out.
Mm.
So once I came to that realization,
Mhm.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
just go with the flow.
Just go with the flow. And you were so graceful with it though. And I appreciate your follow-up questions though, because I didn't get annoyed or frustrated because I understood why. Like you had that empathy to see why where I was coming from. I understood where you were coming from. I knew she wants to just know what to expect. And so let me try to figure out how I can make it feasible for both of us so that I'm not giving too much away, but at the same time, you feel more at ease, at least to know what you're doing. Right. So I appreciate that. Tell me about Seth, your 6-year-old.
Oh man. Well, Seth just turned 7
Happy
on the
birthday.
4th of July.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes. Seth is amazing. Seth definitely changed my life. Um, Being a single mother is, it has its challenges. But, thank God I've been able to meet every challenge without fail.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Absolutely. What's the biggest challenge that maybe not be obvious? I mean, I'm sure maybe financially, if you're the only one providing, but what's like something else that may not have people be able to see right off the bat?
The biggest challenge for me was allowing people to help me.
Mm,
I'm never the one to play the victim.
mhm,
If there's a problem, I don't think, oh, let me whine and moan or tell so and so. I automatically go into fix it mode.
mm,
So I've always been like that, just very independent. I'll handle it myself,
mhm,
and just having a child, you can't really function like that all the time.
mm,
So just allowing friends and family to help out at certain times. And yeah, that was a big challenge for me. Just part of it was being a overprotective mom.
mhm.
And the other part of that was just letting go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that Seth is on the spectrum.
Yes, Seth is on the spectrum. Mhm.
What methods or how does that show up for him? Like, what is there a certain way he needs things done, or do you have to cultivate a certain community around him so he feels accommodated? How does that work with him?
You know, it's amazing how every child on the spectrum is different.
Mm-hmm.
And it has opened my eyes to so many different things. I mean, I haven't seen two that are alike yet.
Mm-hmm.
But for Seth, he just processes information differently.
Mm-hmm.
When he looks at something, he's probably not going to see what you or I see.
Mm-hmm.
He's very creative.
Mm-hmm.
He's full of energy. He's very friendly, overly friendly. Seth never meets a stranger. And, that's a little scary as a mom.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, he's it's just an interesting journey. But yeah, I don't have to do anything per se to accommodate him.
Mhm.
It's more of a mental accommodation. Like, okay, let me be patient, or let me give you the time to process this the way that you need to.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Well said. Well said. I have here that you say that you're most critical about personal goals that you have set and not reached. Can you tell me about what goals that you are currently working towards that you haven't reached yet?
I would say creating passive income
Mhm.
and starting a business.
Mhm.
Those are a couple of things that I have been juggling for the past few years, and I am definitely not where I would like to be or where I saw myself being at this point when it comes to that.
Mhm.
I will say that I've done something, but definitely I haven't reached my goals with that yet.
Okay.
Mm.
Understood. Now, let's talk about pain, right? I understand that you had an experience where you were engaged and something happened where the guy went with someone else or moved on to someone else, and you had to find it out through the grapevine, as you said.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that.
Well, this was, I guess this was my high school sweetheart.
Mhm.
Um, and it had come to the point where he was deciding to make some career choices. And I would say that I did give an ultimatum and say that, hey, you've got to either do A or B if you're going to be with me.
Mhm.
So he made a decision, and this decision required relocation, and he wanted to get married. He proposed, and my answer was yes, but not right now. I was in school, I was in college. I wanted to finish what I was doing, and, we'll make it work and I'll catch up with you. Little did I know that they would go on to their new location, and the next thing I know, I hear that they're getting married. So this is earth-shattering news for me because I'm still talking to you multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about it. Who is this person? What's going on? So yeah, it was definitely a heartbreak. Mhm.
Did that experience hinder you from being able to trust men or people in general?
I don't think it did. It did affect me, but I don't think it was really with trust.
Okay.
I'm not a trusting person anyway. And that's not because of anything anyone has ever done to me. I just don't walk out into the world trusting people.
Gotcha.
You have to prove yourself to me.
Mhm.
But that situation, I think it made me approach relationships differently. It made me approach dating differently.
Mhm.
I think I just went a long time without allowing myself to commit. And it really wasn't a trust thing. I think it was just, I wasn't ready to go down that road again.
Right.
I felt like if I was going to make that decision, it needed to be a situation that was the same or better.
Mhm.
So I think it made me more critical of every other person, situation, or anything that I faced for the next probably few years after that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Do you find it? Are you dating in Atlanta now?
I am.
You are. How is that experience for you? 'Cause I hear different things. I hear good things. I hear more bad things than good. But what is that experience like for you in Atlanta?
It's been a good experience for
Okay.
me. Now, I have experienced some of that stuff that you're hearing about now. Don't get it wrong. So,
Okay.
But yeah, dating has been, it's been decent for me, but I'm the type of person, things are what you allow them to be. They're what you make them.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff you can cut it off at the pass. You don't even have to deal with it. You can see the red flags. You just choose not to.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Well said. And I definitely agree with that. Tell everyone what's next for Chaina? Like where are you going based on your experience with Shape? Where would you like to continue to move forward with in any aspect?
People have been asking me about modeling for years, and it's something that I've dabbled in here and there, but it's nothing that I've had the time to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been very busy with career or something else that was really demanding, and I've never really had the time and energy to dedicate to modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if I think I'm more open to it now. I think I'm more open to developing myself as a model and saying yes to opportunities instead of I don't have time. So
Absolutely. Well, I definitely hope that this was the great gateway to get you into other opportunities that you would like to be a part of. You did a great job on the day of the shoot. I was really impressed with just how open you were to trying new things. I know this season's concept was a little more creative than the previous season, so I definitely appreciate your cooperation and participation. Tell people where they can follow you or keep in touch with you to check out what you got going on.
IG is SMITCHC. Facebook is Chaina Smith. And that's about all with me in social media that I'm going to post on. So.
All right, awesome. There we have it. Miss Chaina Smith, thank you so much again for being a part of Shape. Thank you so much for lending your time and your energy and just making this what the success that it has been. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Raquez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Raquez with the Shape campaign. We'll see you later.
Stay tuned for our next episode. Shape.